Hey, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I am Polly, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor Quiz. How you doing this week?
I'm doing all right.
Wow, that was enthusiastic. That's good. That's good.
Well, I've got to get ready for doing a tournament.
A tournament that you haven't totally finished all your paintings on?
No, I haven't, but I get a couple more days because I thought it was supposed to be tomorrow, but then I found out that it was postponed to the weekend. So
Right.
I still took tomorrow off from work though. So yay, late night for me.
So we got the Demon Man 57 saying, are we getting the show started or what? It's been 25 minutes. The show should have been started. Are they not receiving what we're streaming?
No, there
No, okay. Just a
you
little.
get to see George Washington and what British soldier was that?
I, th-
Lightsaber fighting?
I think it's supposed to be Gage.
No.
Thomas Gage.
Hmm.
Let's see. Oh, rounding out our triumphant of awesome is the never forgettable Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack,
That he
how are you doing this week?
that he
I'm all
almost
right.
forgot.
I figured you were just gonna skip me and move on with the day.
No, not at all. Wouldn't happen.
The unforgettable that he almost forgot.
I see you picked up on the irony of my words there.
Yes, yes.
Oh hey, I just got the notice that you're gonna be streaming.
I from YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, YouTube's garbage.
And Grizella's there at the just saying hello in chat at the same time that Grizella's picture's in the bottom right hand corner. How fortuitous. So, I mean, normally we would show the thumbnail, but I don't know. Should we continue to show the thumbnail now that we're? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm set up for it, right? Shit.
I'm gonna continue to be indifferent on the matter.
Yeah, I'm not really proud of this thumbnail. I mean, I like the. I was telling Quiz, I really like the picture. He's the one that sent it to me over in Discord, and I dug it. But it's just I wasn't able to do very much with it because limitations of my creative ability and all. Finish thumbnails and then scroll down here a little bit and then bring it up on the screen. And then, let me see. Display captures? How do I do that? Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit cropped, but there's our thumbnail for this week. And none other than Kitty Pride with Catherine Pride for a 16 or 17-year-old girl has very large breastises, but I'm not opposed. And so for anybody who looked at this thumbnail and thought that she was sexy, you're sick. You got problems.
There is no way that she is 16 in that picture.
Yeah, she's like 35, pretending to be a 16-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. This is her in later life, like when she was the leader of X-Men Gold, when she's in mid-20s.
When she was Coyote Uglying it, yeah.
And decided to wear the little X-Men bikini top there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Honestly, she's one of your favorite characters, so I'm always on the lookout for more risque Kitty Prides.
yes, and yeah, I mean she is absolutely Kitty Pryde's a great character. I'm a huge fan of the character, and the atheist icon says he doesn't mind it. Neither do I. I'm fine with it. So, did you guys hear about the end of Ta-Nehisi Coates' career? Writing Captain America, and they've already come out with the replacement Captain America.
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you want to see the cover?
Sure.
Is he like fired from the book, or or is this a trick?
It's a trick.
Of course, it's a trick.
Come on, Captain America White. How awesome would that be? That's what they named the follow-up series. He looks like he's fighting for.
I don't know. I can't see it yet.
You gotta remember we're 10 seconds
10-second
behind.
delay.
Oh.
I was filling gap time.
Then I ruined the joke. Well, chat got it. That's what counts here. Our audience is picking up on the humor before you guys do. We got to figure some way to get the latency down so you guys can pick up the jokes when I'm putting them down.
Right?
Now
Let's
this is
say short of doing a screen share on the Hangouts, there's not going to be a way to do that.
I mean, we could do that, but then it's like 7 buttons or 7 clicks that have to happen in order for you guys to. No, that's Mike Perledes is that Red Skull, and it's no, that's Captain America and Bucky in the background.
So I also noticed Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Mm-hmm. This is actually from a graphic novel that they wrote from 2016.
That red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and it's just I just love that it's just white because Captain America's white and fighting for white people.
The monster.
At least that's what Ta-Nehisi Coates would have you believe.
Yeah.
Can't believe that guy's still got a career.
Oh, he's gonna. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like what's her nuts there? Zoe Quinn. I mean, she has a career as a comic writer now, and refers to herself as remember the story we were reading last week when she said, as a comics creator, I always think about, and now she has that on her resume, and legit, thank you, DC, can now call herself a comic creator. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. She got hired in Marvel, so now it's legit.
Mm-hmm.
Worst timeline ever.
Mm-hmm. This is actually a graphic novel that I picked up because I wanted to read it because it's like a throwback. Excuse me, a throwback to World War II, and fun things going on back then. And it's kind of like Captain America Year One. Now, and
Did they do that for Marvel?
do a series called Captain America Year One.
They didn't call it Year One. They just have it take place early in his career.
No, I mean, like, DC are the ones that usually did year one. So it was...
Yeah, he was just using Year One generically, as in it was his first year of adventure.
I'm just, I'm down to see some stuff like this. Like I thought, Steve Rogers doing a little World War II stuff. I'm down. I know they're not your favorite creative team there, Quiz, but
I don't have a problem with Jeff Loeb and Tim Sales.
I thought you didn't like Jeff Loeb.
No,
I don't like Jeff Loeb.
Jack.
Oh, it's Jack. Okay.
I love Jeff Loeb. He did Hush, and Hush was amazing.
It was.
Well, monkeys and typewriters, but at the same time, he also did Agent America, which I will forever resent him for.
Can't remember. Did he also do Long Halloween? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes, he did.
It's fine, Jack. I mean, we can't always agree on things, and you're just wrong. It's fine.
No, just saying, he got lucky a couple times, and that's about it.
And Matt Winter asks, wait, Zoe Quinn is trans? No. Zoe Quinn is just like ugly and looks like a man. It's different.
Yeah.
They did the Shadow Year One too. It's true, Jesse. It is true. But I mean, the thing that makes me so angry about her is Zoe Quinn. I mean, can now say I've worked for the big two, DC and Marvel. I'm a true, authentic, all the way comic book creator. I have no experience writing comics. The bitch doesn't give a fuck about comics. Has never talked about fucking comics. Just that she's a geek girl and a gamer girl. And now, I was saying this in Discord to Chaos Eve and a few other people last night. I now understand gamers' frustration with Zoe Quinn in a way I never did before. That, for all of these, Kotakus and all of these various gamer rags online, writing her up and saying her Depression Quest game positively and calling her a game dev over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, that must be really frustrating for somebody who's so completely lacking in talent, only exists out of her identity as an oppressed victim of Gamergate. You know what I mean? And yet repeatedly refer to her as a game developer. It must be so annoying to hear that. But now that I'm personally feeling the sting of it, because I'm not a gamer, right? But over here in comic books, now she's being referred to and referring to herself as a comic book creator. And I feel that sting, and it's like, oh God, now I know what you guys really felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not just on an intellectual level. Now I feel your pain. Fuck it. It makes me so angry because my whole problem with that dumb bitch is that she doesn't belong there and took the spot of a practiced, talented, dying for a chance writer, and didn't just do it at one of the two big companies, did it at both.
Yeah. And not only that is that she's writing infamy and victimhood and getting these jobs on that, not actual merit. And she was a contributing hand in the demise of Vertigo, aka one of the best publications that DC put out. Thanks, Zoe.
Yep.
To be fair, there were a lot of people involved in that mess.
Yes, but she was a contributing factor.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it always needs to be repeated, at around this time, that the problem, of course, is not the writers. There's crap writers and trash hacks in every fucking industry and every fucking business. It's the person that hired them that's responsible. It's an editorial decision. The fuck is wrong with whoever hired her? Again, editors. I come back to that again and again. There'll always be hacks. It doesn't mean you need to hire them. But what do you do when your editors are hacks?
Fire them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish that were the case.
You get shit like was it Joe Quesadilla being still at Marvel Comics, fucking things up.
Yeah.
He's never gonna leave. We're never getting Marvel Comics back.
Of the Jesse Green, I think it was, asked earlier, is that the apartment from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I was actually thinking about that. Like, what are comic book places that people would hang out? Because the idea is like, we're here, we're the triumvirate of awesome. We sit around, we shoot the shit about comic books. I drink, you guys stay sober. You know how it is.
I mean, I can go and get a drink.
No.
Oh, fuck. And so, yeah, that was the only idea that I could come up with, because I thought, like, what's like an apartment or a house or a bar or something that's identifiable and recognizable, classic. And the only thing that came to mind was that famous bedroom from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends that they, pull down on the football statue and it turns around to reveal all their computers and stuff.
Well, I'll say idea for an alternate.
Huh.
The Batman animated series Batcave.
I thought about Batcaves. I could look up the Batman animated series one, but I would have to find one where Batman wasn't there, or at least he was just sitting in the background, like looking at the Bat computer or something. So consider yourself tasked, Quiz.
I'll have to bust out my DVDs.
Mike Parlett asks, where's the hookah? I didn't have a hookah. Those they were too straight-laced for hookahs, wouldn't you say?
You say straight and Bobby Drake. Come on, Polly.
Oh no, this was pre-gay Bobby Drake.
Oh, okay.
Before Jean Grey mind raped him into thinking he's gay.
Yeah, he was hot as fuck for Angelica Jones, which he should be, because remember her in that Firestar outfit? Hell yeah. Oh, big titty Leia. Anyway. Yeah, that was a great picture. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, we got to include that. So like, I don't know, guys, I'm not really interested in starting the stories really quickly, as you might tell. It's like meandering around to it, because there isn't very interesting things to talk about this week, in my opinion. I mean, there's lots going on, but nothing that's... Yeah, guess what? Spider-Man's leaving the MCU. Oh. I mean, people are like bent out of shape about this. And I think I'm too black-pilled and cynical about the whole thing to really be upset by it, because it's like a bunch of corporate hack company men couldn't get along and agree on how to divvy up the $500 million that they had currently sitting on the table. So they all took their fucking respective IPs and went home. Like it's just corporatist garbage, guys. It's like exactly the same thing that's fucking Star Trek as a intellectual property in the ass. Why are you not getting good shows? Corporate garbage. That
I really think that Sony thinks that they can do more with the property now that Marvel made it famous or something, and they're just gonna churn out a bunch of garbage
Yeah.
because they're like, oh yeah, well we got some brand recognition now. People know who Spider-Man is because these corporate people aren't real bright sometimes. I mean, they're foolish for ending this deal. It was very lucrative for everyone involved.
It was,
So
and I mean, the original deal was just supposed to be for like the 2 films, right? And then it's like now he's leaving. It's like, what do you mean he's leaving? Like the assumption that everyone was going with is that they would come up with an extended deal because of how awesome everything was going to work out. But just like you said, Jack, it's you increase the value of a property that was reverting to them, and they decided to not extend the deal. What? Well, yeah. They took an IP that they had temporarily licensed to them and put a hell of a lot of luster on it. You know, the name of Spider-Man in films, because Sony had just fucked Spider-Man really hard after the Amazing Spider-Man reboots and constantly putting out films and films and films because Sony needs quick cash because they can't do anything right. And they're like, okay, well, after you guys made Spider-Man popular again, after we totally fucked up the character in terms of people's interest in it, yeah, we'll take him back now.
yeah,
I
think that's exactly what happened.
So again, I don't really see the the big story, but I mean, I don't know. Fuck it, let's talk about it, I guess. Here we are. Disney Sony standoff ends as Marvel Studios Kevin Feige's involvement in Spider-Man.
God damn it, I had my mic muted. I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did.
Yeah.
I was saying that this was going to happen long before it actually did. Like,
well, they had to fulfill their contract.
Well, they agreed so that they could use Spider-Man in the MCU films, and then it was a ploy just so that Sony could get interest back in Spider-Man, because the Andrew Garfield stuff it did not generate it.
Yeah,
but they couldn't break the deal and just pull the character back. They had a contract for these 5 movie appearances. So they had to let that ride out. Plus, they made a fortune, I'm sure, off of Endgame and Infinity War. So they were going to let that ride out. And then they're like, haha, now he's ours again.
BG says, kind of wonder if Sony wants to cut a revenue stream for Disney. Disney has shot themselves in the foot quite a few times lately, and they have a major loan coming up. Well, yeah, the first part of the money that they borrowed from all over the fucking place matures in what? October?
Something like that.
Yeah. I can't remember when it actually comes up, but well, let's check out this super long story. And we're not going to go through it in detail because it's so fucking long. This guy right here, epitomizes what I think of as going on with corporate problems. I mean, just fucking look at this guy. I know things about Spider-Man. Look, I've got a little Spider-Man pin on my lapel. It's totally not about billions of dollars, and I'm, just fuck you guys, man.
Yeah, no one nowhere said Maximum Carnage go with the symbiotes. The problem is that Maximum Carnage used literally every character in like the Marvel stable. At least every character made an appearance at some point in the comics. So you had Captain America, you had Cloak and Dagger, you had Cloak and Dagger actually played a pretty big role. Most of the Spider-Man villains, Fantastic Four, I remember, was the big one because he needed the sonic weapon to try and bring down Carnage. Yeah. It was a huge crossover event.
No, I mean, Man of Winter says it was to hold on to the license, Polly. No, I get that it it was like they have to make a movie every so often, but that explains why they were churning out a lot of crap and apparently not hiring people that could work within a very tight time frame or create a story arc that could cover several movies without just having to, okay, we're going to reboot it, we're going to reboot it, we're going to do this, we're going to reboot it. You know, and the Amazing Spider-Man wasn't really done in such a way that, okay, we're starting this new story arc, we're going to create some villain like, I don't know, like let's say like Thanos introduced at the end of Avengers and it takes a long time for that to come to fruition sort of thing. I don't know what they're planning, man. It's all corporatist crap anyway. It doesn't fucking make a difference. You make it sound like they've got some plan beyond the third fiscal quarter of this annum or whatever the fuck. They don't. I mean, they employ people who are artists, and then everything that they're doing is all cold, annoying numbers and trying to slice up the money pie as best they can for themselves. It's, you know, naked bargain basement greed and not much more. Okay. Sony Pictures spent much of yesterday trying to spin Deadline about the prospective loss of Kevin Feige from the future Spider-Man films. First, the studio downplayed the idea that he might be leaving. Then insiders pinned his exit on added responsibilities from the Fox acquisition of the X-Men franchise, though they declined to make a statement. All this was reflected as factors in Deadline's break of an important and widely regurgitated story. But sources maintain that Feige's exit was about money. It was about Disney seeking the 50-50 co-fi stake, sources said. See what I mean? It's all just fighting over numbers. That's all. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this, even though this story goes on forever.
Yeah, I'm really not surprised by it. It's disappointing that they're all being a bunch of greedy little babies about it, but it's not really that surprising anymore, you know.
Let's talk about sources say that Sony reasoned that they will be fine without Feige. The creative template has been set on the Spider-Man films. And Watt and Holland are in place along with Amy Pascal, who became producer with Feige after she exited the executive suite after providing over the previous Spider-Man iterations directed by Sam Raimi and Mark Webb as Sony Pictures chief. Let me tell you something about Amy Pascal, okay? That miserable fucking bitch, in my opinion. Like, she is... Like, you guys think that Kathleen Kennedy is a miserable corporate fucktard. You don't know nothing if you don't know Amy Pascal. Did you ever read her emails from the Sony leaks like 2 years ago?
No.
She's a bitch.
Oh my God. She's the genius behind Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's the one who insisted that it be like that. You should read the fucking emails where she's talking about, no. We don't care if Bill Murray wants to be involved in this or not. We will use, and as per her email, we will simply use aggressive litigation to get him to agree. One way or another, he's going to be in the film.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They blackmailed all those guys back into being in the film.
Mm-hmm. You know how you do something like that? Like as a example, a speculative example? You sue them for something. And it's for what? Doesn't matter. Well, what do they possibly... You can't sue someone to force them to be in a movie. Yes, you can. You drum up
some sort of contract thing from way back in the day.
But he's not in violation of it. Like, everybody has to agree that was part of it, as per Dan Aykroyd saying it, that everyone has to agree to kind of be on board. You know what I mean? And it's like Bill Murray sort of has to give his consent as like, you know, co-part owner, as a producer, as an owner of that IP. And they'll sue him for whatever the fuck. Blocking their moving forward, being a whatever, trumping up a reason is the whole point. Because it's like, look, Bill Murray, you can either show up for 2 days of shooting and you'll have creative input on whatever character you play. And no, you don't have to play Peter Venkman. And we're only going to have you for 2 days of filming, and we'll pay you $300,000 to be there. Or you could spend the next 2 years in court and blow $1.5 million in legal fees fighting us on this. Make your choice. That's what aggressive litigation sounds like. We're going to threaten you to the point where you're not going to want to pay your lawyers to fight us. You'll just accept our check.
wouldn't it be absolutely damning if you were to leak that? Because, I mean, what does Bill Murray have to lose?
Well, this
If they
chick's
came,
job is totally secure. She's not going anywhere.
well, no, I'm just saying, if she were to come at Bill Murray like that, right? And Bill Murray were to say, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. And they say, well, we'll prepare to be litigated. What if he just leaked all of those statements that he was receiving from her to the public about their business practices? Wouldn't that immediately call into question, number one, blackmail, and number two, extortion?
It was leaked through those Sony leaks, and it was a big problem, and that's why one of the reasons I'm wagering that Amy Pascal is not at Sony Pictures anymore. She's part of Pascal Pictures.
Oh,
Which is somehow seemingly connected to Sony.
Absolutely it is. You're damn right it is. When you watch Spider-Man Homecoming or you watch Spider-Man Far From Good, yeah, one of the executive producers, Kevin Feige, and then one of the other executive producers, Amy Pascal for Pascal Pictures, or whatever the fuck her little production studio's called. They probably went through all kinds of legal mumbo jumbo and all sorts of shit that I was there at the time, and according to my contract it was at the time, and do you want to fight for the next 10 years while I stop you from making this film? No, we'll just make you an executive producer. She ran Ghostbusters under Pascal Pictures or whatever the fuck it was called when she left after all of those leaks occurred. Now, I'm not trying to argue a causal connection between it going public what a miserable bitch this miserable bitch was, causing her to leave Sony, but it certainly seems like one happened after the other. I mean, this is what I'm arguing about when I say all this corporatist garbage. It's a whole bunch of people like Kathleen Kennedy and Amy Pascal and people that can't get along, that think they're fucking geniuses in terms of making movies, when in reality it's like...
Are you ready for even more vitriolic hatred for Amy Pascal from Polydub here, ladies and gentlemen? This is from the Wikipedia. Pascal Pictures made a winning bid for a memoir by Zoe Quinn about Gamergate called Crash Override: How to Save the Internet from Itself, which was sold to Touchstone Simon & Schuster for publication in September 2016.
Yeah, I knew she had optioned her book.
But Pascal Pictures is the one that made the bid.
Well, is that surprising? Like, Amy Pascal's about the whammons, all about the whammons. And especially, and most importantly, about the victim role that the whammons find themselves in. Gamergate. How do you think Zoe Quinn's like buying food and stuff? Like, do you think she gets a lot of money off of the comics that she wrote? No, like next to nothing.
That's how I thought. But anyway. And now I feel vindicated, by the way.
Do you?
She produced Ghostbusters reboot film and the Marvel Studios Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, I just said that, Quiz.
I didn't.
You weren't. You didn't listen. I know.
No. I was listening, but I'm just saying. I'm reading that on her Wikipedia. I've never felt more vindicated in not seeing a movie now.
Well, I mean, it's important to keep in mind that she's an executive producer, which means that like she's the person who owns the studio that it was produced through. Yeah, you probably have a lot of say as who gets involved, but it's not like she was directing the film. You know what I mean?
Well, she would be the one that feels the burn if I don't go see that movie. So therefore, I feel better.
I don't. Well, okay. I mean, I guess somebody could point out that she's not really going to notice if one person doesn't see it when half of China goes and sees it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm contributing. That's all I care about.
Why don't you do what I do, man? Buy a ticket for a different movie and then go into the theater you want. And they don't get your money.
No. I'm not going to waste my time on a movie that's, number one, I'm not interested in. Number two, I'm ideologically opposed to seeing. And number three, I have... is only the only validation I would get is the fact that I would get the minutia of the pop culture references that other people are going to be talking about. I don't need that validation. I don't. I'm perfectly fine with not seeing that movie. Bothers me none. Same with all of the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also feel a little vindicated that if, my paltry little $12 in ticket sales does not give someone like Amy Pascal any money, then yeah, I feel better about it.
I don't know, Jack. What do you think?
I think they're just going to screw up Spider-Man. Now, Frosted Glass mentioned in the chat that he thought maybe they could redo it where Peter dies and Uncle Ben becomes Spider-Man. But I'm going to step that up one more, and I think Aunt May should become Spider-Man.
Aunt May, who's then later revealed to be yet another Gwen Stacy from a different alternate universe.
Yeah, just really old now. I'm actually kind of surprised. Apparently, Sony has access to about 900 characters that they can use. I'm
Why?
surprised because they're part of the Spider-Man universe.
Okay.
So, like the Spider-Man heroes, villains, associated characters, there's a wide assortment. So I'm hoping for they do a Sinister Six movie with Stiltman. And they have to go up against Peter Porker, the spectacular Spider-Ham.
Uh-huh.
And that's the version that they go with because they're actually trying to find Spider-Man, but he never appears in the movie because there's an accidental rift in time and space, and Peter Porker shows up, and his bacon is in the fire, as it were, because they mistake him for the real Peter Parker.
How does someone mistake a pig for Peter Parker?
Well, this is Sony. It'll be a slapstick comedy, much like Baby's Day Out. And it'll just be a series of wacky adventures.
It just dawned on me that Peter Porker, the Incredible Spider-Ham, doesn't need some bitch to make a spider web that says some pig. He can do it himself.
Exactly. He is Zuckerman's famous pig and the spider. You don't need no Charlotte.
Right?
Jesus.
I'm just saying, I'd watch that movie. Stiltman walking across the city and fucking out of nowhere, this pig runs up and knocks him over. Maybe he could team up with Babe. I don't know.
Did you see Into the Spider-Verse, Jack?
No.
No.
I don't like Miles Morales. I refuse to give money to any of his projects.
Spider-Gwen is in that movie and everyone's complaining about Miles Morales. No. Spider-Gwen is in that movie.
Yes.
That is the reason why I will refuse to see that movie.
Yes, well, that's just another reason. But my primary reason is I don't like Miles Morales. I think he's blackface Peter Parker. And Spider-Gwen is just the super duper lazy attempt at gender swap.
Holy fuck, Jack.
What?
I have heard, young Ripper 59 calls him, just this shitty token Peter Parker. And I agree with him. He is like Miles Morales is. For those of you who don't know, Miles Morales is the black Puerto Rican Spider-Man. And he's simply called Spider-Man. His powers are identical. He's basically teenage Spider-Man, except for the fact that he's black and Puerto Rican. And that's the essence of bad tokenism, if you know what I mean. But I've never heard him referred to as blackface Peter Parker before.
Well, I'm not wrong. I'm just an asshole.
For those of you who don't know, like Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, absolutely was a comic from back in the day, and I thought it was pretty cool that when they're going to do the Spider-Verse, they're going to use him. Fuck, those comics were, God, they were just good fun. Damn, they were funny. It's just such a goofy play on words, and they turned it into a whole comic series. Okay, let's wrap up the...
Real quick, Ramen Noodle says Spider-Gwen is just Ghost Spider now. I refuse to call her that. Ghost Spider is too cool of a name for that character.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, because the new issue of Ghost Spider #1 came out today. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So this is from Bounding. Bounding into comics, Sony responds to Tom Holland's Spider-Man exiting the MCU. Quote, "We are disappointed." Well, let's see what they have to say. Sony issued a statement responding to reports that negotiations between themselves, Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige, and Disney stalled out, leaving Tom Holland's Spider-Man outside the MCU. In a statement issued to The Hollywood Reporter, a Sony spokesman responded to the reports that Spider-Man disappoint, but respect Disney's decision to not have him continue as a lead producer of our next live-action Spider-Man film. The spokesperson continued, "We hope this might change in the future, but understand that many new responsibilities that Disney has given him, including all their newly added Marvel properties, do not allow time for him to work on IP they do not own. Kevin is terrific, and we are grateful for his help and guidance and appreciate the path he has helped us he has helped put us on, which we will continue." Yeah, I know. Doesn't that sound like, thanks for polishing up our IP that we managed to sully the shit out of?
They'll fuck it up.
Did he really polish it up, though? I mean, all he did was really put him in the MCU with 2 movies and then 2 solo movies that were horrible. That everyone, well, at least everyone here on this panel, hated.
No. Before we went live, you were asking me if I liked Homecoming. Yeah, I liked
yeah.
Homecoming.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man, those movies are not as good as everyone is saying. The fact that he was in the MCU is one thing, but compare the Raimi's movies to the new ones, and
well, I hear you there.
Even 3 was a better.
I'm just glad they got rid of Andrew Garfield. I hated him.
No, he was my favorite Peter Parker.
I thought he was annoying.
Let's see what else they say here. And God, I love Bounding for summing up long stories I don't want to read through from the Hollywood Reporter that are just like, ultra shill site. That's why Bounding is awesome. The initial report regarding Sony and Disney's split indicated Sony's Tom Rothman and Disney's Alan Horn and Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige could not come to a financial understanding. Deadline reported Disney wanted a 50-50 co-financing deal that would include not only Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man universe films such as Venom and Morbius. The Hollywood Reporter reports Disney wanted a 30% stake. Sony reportedly rejected this offer. Instead, Sony offered to continue the current deal, which gives Disney 5% of first dollar gross. Disney and Marvel Studios reportedly rejected this deal. Yeah, back and forth. It's kind of like they just put it to public immediately and leak the story because whoever did so thought it would be to their advantage in terms of their bargaining position. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's, well, wait till the fans find out about this. And yeah, there's 5 different hashtags going on about this right now. God damn you, Sony. I'm boycotting you, Sony, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to see your fucking films. And in fact, Venom made nearly as much as Spider-Man Homecoming without a tie-in to the MCU. Venom made $856 million worldwide, while Homecoming made more with just $880 million. Sony definitely didn't need the MCU and Disney when it launched Spider-Man back in 2002. Yes, but that was a long time ago, wasn't it? And do we need to talk about Spider-Man 3 and how it did for them? Do we need to talk about how poorly both Amazing Spider-Man films did for them in terms of expectations? So remember, everything that Sony has is a drain on them, except for their movies, which are at least cash in the door. You know what I'm talking about here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Sony's just pissing and moaning, and I think they believe they have a better property on their hands now, and they really want to go a different direction, probably more woke direction with Spider-Man. I don't know. I think this is just a negotiation tactic by releasing this to the press.
Yes, I agreed 100%. Whatever's going on, there's no doubt that this has all of the stank-ass earmarks of a negotiation tactic.
Yeah.
It's corporate is garbage, man. Frosted Glass says Tom Holland is better than Andrew Garfield. Hey, I like Tom Holland. I absolutely do. I think he kind of plays quirky Peter Parker quite well. I think Andrew Garfield's beat up on for reasons that I don't understand. I liked him a lot better than Tobey Maguire, who I didn't like at all.
Well, that's sort of like saying I like mud puddles better than I like drowning in the ocean.
You never liked any of the Peter Parkers at all?
Tobey Maguire was okay.
Okay.
I thought he was kind of old because he's supposed to be like a teenager in that. He looks like he's like 28.
Is he? I thought he was supposed to be in college.
He was in high school in the first movie.
He was in the first movie, still in high school.
Yeah, and he looked like he had one of those like Steve Buscemi memes. Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah.
This is like, that dude's got crow's feet.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess Tom Holland's okay. At least he's kind of the age, even though he looks super British. Like, my family has never left the islands ever.
Assassin of the Grey says the British knucklehead Garfield was obsessed with making Peter Parker the gay. I don't agree with that at all. Remember when we covered that, guys? The articles? It was the reporters pushing the questions on him. And then... I don't know. Well, what's wrong with him being gay? And he's like, nothing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him being gay. He was cornered into saying something that was not woke, which would have turned into a Twitter brigade on him. And he goddamn well knows that. And so he just said, yeah, I've got no problem with that. And that's how the Ladyboy Spider-Man came up too. Well, how about a trans Spider-Man? Is that okay? Well, Tom Holland said that trans Spider-Man would be a great idea. They're just agreeing along with the trash woke questions reporters are feeding to them because they're afraid, for good reasons, to say no.
Yeah, but I think Andrew Garfield's pretty stupid. And he looks like he smells like farts. So... Look at him. He looks like the kind of guy that would fart and look around, and if no one's looking, he'll huff it.
Well, that's... all right.
You're welcome for that image that'll haunt you later.
How is the skateboarding loner who looks like a male model Peter Parker? Peter Parker is not supposed to be ugly. Mary Jane is constantly talking about how cute and adorable he is. I thought he was supposed to be a reasonably cute guy, just nerdy.
That's a lie women always say. You're cute and adorable. No, that just means you're like average or less, and they're just trying to get you to be nice to them so that you give them your credit card.
I mean, to be fair, Mary Jane wasn't all that interested until he got super buff from having the spider powers.
Yeah, because Mary Jane's kind of a shallow.
Mary Jane's a little shallow. Yeah.
Oh, well. Mary Jane is... there's something, I mean, Quiz, come on, you got to agree with me there. The presentation of Mary Jane in the first Raimi film is a little lackluster.
Yes, but it's better than all the others.
Well, I'm going to say that, yeah, I think the casting may have been a little off, but she did a better job than everybody else that even came close, like Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do better than Laura Harrier.
Laura Harrier didn't play Mary Jane.
No, she didn't, but, I mean, Zendaya doesn't play Mary Jane either.
Well, she's playing
but she's the MJ to the Mary Sue, Polly.
She's the MJ of the MCU.
Well, who cares what Mary...
Stop
beating up on that microscopic channel, Quiz. Jesus.
It's bigger than ours.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
At the time, I really wanted to bone Kirsten Dunst for no reason.
Why? Her teeth are like a third of an inch high and her gums are like a foot long.
Teeth? I don't care. I wanted to bang the shit out of her. She was cute. If you watch Drop Dead Gorgeous, she's even cuter. I don't know why. She's just got like that like, I want to hit that look. And to me, I thought, well, she's not that great of an actress, but I want to do naughty things with her, probably in the butt. And yeah, she looked like the kind of girl that'd let me. So
no, okay, hold on. We got a number of ladies in chat here. I disagree with Jack's assertion that that's what ladies when they say, "Oh, he's cute," that just means he's not ugly. Like, I mean, that's not true. Women who
Johnny Hellcat said cute and adorable is friend zone. Yep.
No. That's not even. Ladies, back me up on this. That's not even remotely true. I've banged girls who've told me that I'm cute. So what the fuck?
Was it during?
Yeah.
That they
cute. That's weird. Go back to calling me daddy.
Maria Juarez likes Night Monkey, not Spider. Oh, come on, get off of it.
Night Monkey.
That is a stupid bad joke in Spider-Man: Far From Good. It's one of the reasons I hated that film. They come up with because he's dressed up in his like away costume, his away Spider-Man suit, Stark powered armor suit, and it's all black. It kind of looks like a cheap ripoff of
the noir one.
Yeah, Spider-Man Noir with a lot of tech to it, and it's like he's Night Monkey, and then that joke just every little joke that should be a one-liner is just beat to death by repeating it in that film. Like Spider-Man Spider Senses is Peter Tingle. That's a one-line joke that his Aunt May said to him. Said, don't you have a danger sense of Peter Tingle? And he's like, don't ever call it that again. They must have repeated that like,
of course they did.
Like 8 times in the rest of the film.
It's Saved by the Bell humor.
Yeah, dude, that whole have you seen the movie?
No.
Oh, well, I don't know if you remember, but that's what I described that movie being like. It was like a Marvel film as if it was done as a Saved by the Bell episode.
Yeah, I know. Did I see that movie? I don't even remember. Maybe I did see it.
So
I might have fallen asleep.
So what you're telling me, Polly, is that Far From Home needs to have some canned laughter.
It goddamn well should have, the way it came across, man. Holy fuck.
Yet again, I'm vindicated yet again because I refuse to go and see a Big Bang Theory sort of esque story in the theaters.
Oh, thank you. Next 6 minutes. Kirsten Dunst gave me a Peter Tingle, he said.
Hey man, when she was young, she was hot.
Yeah, I'd probably still bang her.
Nah, she's a little weird now.
No. Ebony Williams. I understand you could hate being called cute. I'm saying when you call a guy cute, does that mean you've automatically friend zoned him?
Or that you think he's gay.
Right. Or you think he's gay. As we sit here silently waiting for spots. So, we were talking about Ghost Spider, which ran for 10 whopping issues as Spider-Gwen : Ghost Spider.
No, she's just Spider-Gwen.
I'm just saying that was the title of the series.
Yeah, leave Ghost Spider to
Too late.
To a cooler character.
Too late.
Yeah. So they ran it for 10 issues, and its sales are what they are. And then Marvel pulls the classic tactic that we've heard them do again and again. And people like us, your boy Zach, whoever, not that I'm likening ourselves to much larger YouTubers or anything, but
I will.
Yeah, all right, fuck it. We're all in the same group, right? They point a series isn't doing very well. Well, reboot it. Restart it at number 1. Because number 1s always sell well, and then they could say, see, it is doing well. The last issue sold. Like, you never run comics for more than a year. Just restart them over and over again to rebuild hype around them. And then it turns out to be the exact same comic. Like Gay Iceman, like Ghost Spider, like... Jesus. Anyway, there it is. Ghost Spider number 1 came out today, and I bought a copy.
Sucker.
Hey, shut up. You got one on hold.
Yeah, but I haven't bought it yet, so I can make fun of you. When I get it tomorrow, I won't say that anymore.
But for now, you can laugh. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's how that works.
Okay. See, and I mean, chat. Like, I mean, the triple picture here, right? You have like Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider up here in the front, and then Peter Parker, 616 Universe Spider-Man, and then behind him is Miles Morales Spider-Man. Wait, Miles Morales doesn't appear in this issue.
Well, he doesn't need to. This is a pinup that was done 4 years ago, probably.
It's just weird, right? And this.
Why is she in Josie and the Pussycats?
She's not. She's in a band called the Mary Janes that's lead singing headed by Mary Jane. Was that?
And you want me to read this?
Yeah.
No.
Too bad.
I'm not the only one that has to suffer through this. You got to suffer with me, man. And this Van Dyke looking gentleman right here is her father, Captain Stacy. That is the
from the current universe where she's dead.
No, from her universe where she's not.
Then why is he there?
It's from her universe.
But that's not where this is taking place. It's taking place in the 616 universe, right?
Partially. She has decided to live in both universes because she has the ability of interdimensional travel, right? That's
God, fuck.
Well, that's been a long-standing thing about her. That's how Into the Spider-Verse and all of that jazz ended up happening in the comics, right? Like closely connected. She can transfer from dimension to dimension across all of the universes. So she lives in her universe and in 616 where she's going to go. So yeah, let me just show you. Spoilers, by the way, spoilers. I love this opening page. In my opinion, I always like asking, who is this aimed at? Who's the audience for this, right? I think the audience for this is supposed to be 13-year-old girls in their mind.
Yes.
Right? Because you get Shannon McGuire wrote it. Takashi McJapanese Man drew it. Ian Herring colored it. Like, it just great. And it's like, Go Spider, beautiful. So who did what? Like, it's bright colors and things and pink, and girls like pink. They've
been putting a lot of pastels on their covers. Even Savage Avengers has lots
of
purple.
I feel like that Superman that's on the screen right now.
Like it's time for a shot of some bad whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is what's going on. And just here she is practicing with the Mary Janes on her home Earth, right? Home of the haunting Ghost Spider. You barely make it to rehearsal as is.
Is it haunting because she's dead?
She's not dead, though. Not in that universe.
She should be.
You can't be serious. The Mary Janes need you. And her whole thing is, but I'm in college because I'm college girl and I have problems because college and I need to enroll in college. I can't just be in this band with you. College. Because just, wow.
You have no idea how hard I'm colleging right now?
Yeah. She hasn't even like enrolled and Gwen, I can't hear you. Too busy superheroing. And she web slings out of there. Yeah. In any case, she shows up in the in 616, home of the Peter Parker Spider-Man, right? And she finds out that her powers don't work for a short while after she appears in a new dimension. She has to wait a second for her powers to catch up with her. And she has a symbiote-like spider suit that's made out of spiders. Don't ask me to explain that because I won't. Ryan Walters, is this Polly's pitch? Fuck no, man. Fuck no. I'm just pointing out some money that I wasted today.
I like Assassin of the Gray. Hashtag Wolves to Science.
She absolutely does, although she hasn't made up her mind what she's majoring in. This quiz, explain to us what the classic things of a Mary Sue are. What makes the trope the trope?
Well, here, hold on. You put me on the spot here. Give me a sec.
Oh, come on. You can't do it off the top of your head?
I can, but I want to get it 100% accurate here.
Oh, okay.
Let's just...
Well, when you love the science, you have to really love the science. So much you drop E.
A Mary Sue is an idealized and seemingly perfect fictional character. Typically, this character is recognized as an author insert or wish fulfillment. They can usually perform better at tasks than should be possible given the amount of training or experience, and are usually able through some means to upstage the protagonist of an established fictional setting by saving the hero.
Yes, and she in fact saves Spider-Man in this. And would you not agree that one of the ways that the Mary Sueism manifests in terms of like how perfect they are is that everyone around them loves them, affirms their feelings, and is constantly trying to help them for no explicable reason?
Oh yeah, that's a major trope in it, is the fact that without trying and without knowledge, or without previous knowledge or any of that kind of stuff, all of the established characters not only like them, but are infatuated with them. To the point where, the whole wish fulfillment things that the author desperately wants to be liked by the characters that are in this fictional setting.
Yes. So like, why is she going to 616? And like, why aren't you just going to college in your own world? And because her identity is blown in her world, so she wants to go to college with a secret identity. What is it that we talked about, Jack? Remember that she should have a secret identity. It totally ruins it that she's a celebrity and full of fame and all that crap. This is their way of addressing that problem.
Oh, so she's just gonna go to a universe where she's dead.
So she's just stealing the identity of a dead person in this world.
Yeah, more or less. And what kills me is that
more reasons why Gwen Stacy should never have been made into this sort of ridiculous farce of a character.
Well, yeah. Okay, so this is where it starts. It's like she runs up to Empire State University where Peter Parker goes to school. Even says so. Peter Parker works here. And it's like here's Peter, and he's just standing there waiting for her. Hey, you're here. I'm here. We gonna do this? I was just waiting for you. And that sets the tone of the entire conversation. Do this for me because, like, reasons. Like, she just expects that he's going to be doing all this stuff for her. And he's like, here, let me do this for you, and this for you, and this for you. And there's no reason why any of this is happening. It's just, she's awesome. She needs help. I'm going to give her everything and anything I can. I have all my paperwork. Are you sure they don't care that I'm from another dimension? Dimension of origin is also flexible, I'm sure. Would I let you down? I feel like that's a trick question. Fair enough. Come on. And then she takes her into a meeting with the dean where the dean says, yes, everything's fine. You're wonderful. You're totally accepted. I've explained in my application that there are security issues in my home dimension. I mean, because her identity's blown, right? And so like all these supervillains are going to be after her. And she says, and they won't extend here? And she says, no, ma'am, I can promise that. Well, excellent. That's it. Problem solved.
Yeah, I said that there's not going to be any problems, and there's not going to be any problems. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. She goes, based on your transcripts, you definitely qualify for Mr. Stark's scholarship. I'm sorry, what? The ESU has been home to superpowered individuals over the years. New York City has been a home to even more. Tony Stark established a scholarship, and they just gave it to her. She didn't have to apply for it. She didn't have to ask. They just gave her a full scholarship to go to ESU, so she doesn't need to pay.
So being that special, you don't need to apply.
Being within the whole academic sphere, Polly, how often does that happen where someone can just walk in who's not applying for a scholarship, doesn't know about it, didn't put in any of the work or do any of the prerequisites? How often does that happen that they get those?
It's impossible. It would never happen. You have to apply for scholarships. I'm doing my doctoral degree on a full scholarship. You don't want to. I'm not even going to waste you guys' time with the hour long it would take you to take me to explain what was involved in that. An application that was over 10 pages long, including a research proposal, multiple fucking interviews as they whittled down the candidates, on and on and on and on. Like, that's why this makes me so fucking angry. The idea that a bursary or an award, somebody might apply for it on your behalf and then say, would you like to fill out the application? Yeah, I could see that happening, but that's going to be like $1,000 award, not that goes towards your tuition, not a full scholarship just given to you when you show up. Like it's absolutely unheard of. It makes no sense. That's the essence of Mary Sueism. Peter Parker's bending over backwards to help her out, uses his association with Doc Connors to get a special meeting with the dean for her the very minute she walks onto campus. And the dean says, oh, well, okay, you're excellent. And I think all your qualifications mean we're just going to give you this full scholarship so you don't need to pay for tuition or housing or anything else. Like, really? Really? How would this be interesting to a 13-year-old girl? I mean, we have ladies in chat. Let me ask you, ladies, was this a story you want to read when you were 13?
Well, no, now that we're getting into the minutia of college life and college acceptance and going to college, I think this is supposed to appeal to teenagers. But at the same time, why is this a comic book? Is that what people think of when it comes to comic books? You know, fighting supervillains or applying for tuitions and scholarships?
Of course I do. Meaning, like, of course I'm qualified for it, she says. We would be happy to have you as a member of our student body, assuming you've completed all your paperwork, of course. Paperwork is what makes the world go round, after all. She stands up and says, this is everything: my application, a copy of my birth certificate, 3 letters of recommendation, still not sure how you'll verify those, my work history, and a copy of my band's demo. This, I want to punch somebody.
From a different universe.
Yeah. And the writer actually wrote that in parentheses. I don't know if you can see that. 3 letters of recommendation, then in parentheses, still not sure how you verify those. They won't be able to, but it doesn't matter because you're Gwen Stacy, so here's everything for free.
Now, I have a few issues with this because there's also some cultural issues, like a girl going to school. Excuse me? I mean, where is her adult male relative?
This is in Saudi Arabia, number 1. And number 2, women are actually doing better than men in school these days.
I'm just saying that this issue cannot be sold in many countries overseas.
Oh yeah, it's not. But like I said, this is affirmative action to the nth degree. Women are already overrepresented in college campuses, and yet they still have preferential treatment for being admitted. They still get affirmative action programs, support programs for women only. Yeah, it's.
I feel very Title IX right now. By these hate
But
facts.
I mean, there's the instant response, and I've dealt with this myself, pointing this out. It's like, come on, you represent the majority of the student body. And I was talking to like different like female classmates about this, and they say, not in every department. The engineering department is majority male. No, but they do. They say that not in the hard sciences, not in mathematics, women are underrepresented there. It's like, but overall, in the overall student body, do you find a problem with men being massively underrepresented in the field of psychology? It's over 80% female at the majority of American campuses. And it's like, oh yeah, that's because it's a soft science and men are okay with women, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, look, if you don't do well at the math tests that get you into the mathematics department, the engineering department, that's not the patriarchy. Listen, I would fail at the math exams too. Yes, I'm male, but I'm also one of those men that's very poor at math. It doesn't come very easy to me very naturally. That makes me an outlier statistically. Accept it. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it. Anyway, this comic is a complete waste of time because all that happens in this comic is she registers for college classes. She goes web slinging with Spider-Man. They meet a giant rat and she saves Spider-Man in battle. And then she says, wow, I can't believe my life has started. This is so awesome. I'm in college. Yay me. That's all that happens. By the way, when I say yay me, she actually says that. Yay me. She's running down the steps of ESU after it's like, I'm finally enrolled. I'm going to be in college. Yay. And goes and says, yay me.
As if she wasn't getting enough constant validation by every single other character. She has to give herself validation.
That's
wow.
Exactly. It's like there wasn't enough personal affirmation for this character. I mean, I really wish we've got to do like Razorfist does that on his stream sometimes, on his arcade streams. Let's pitch a video game. Let's pitch this. We should do like, let's pitch a comic. Let's take a character that we think could be done well and pitch it, because we've had these discussions, but never like on stream or whatever. Here's how you could make Miss Marvel, like Kamala Khan, less shitty. Like, why aren't you guys even trying with this character? Same thing with Ghost Spider. I still believe this could be an interestingly done character, but not when you're trying to make it like a companion piece to My Little Pony for 13-year-old girls to buy.
I'll say this, Polly. Keep the name, keep the powers, keep the costume. Change everything else, including who she is, her entire personality. She is not Gwen Stacy. She doesn't come from an alternate universe where there are infinite Gwen Stacys that are constantly coming out and being other different Gwen Stacys.
Well, actually,
hacks that entire bullshit, retarded notion in the head.
Well, hold on. That's part. Well, hold on. Slow down. That's part of it. Gwen Stacy's are extremely rare throughout the multiverse. They always end up dying. Now, that could be a massive part of her character. It's just like, does that mean I'm destined to die like tomorrow or any other time? Because we always end up dead and young.
Well,
What they should do,
have her end up dead.
what they should do is have her realize that her powers are killing her. So she has to pass her powers along by biting someone. Because that's how Peter got his powers, spider bite. So it turns out she could pass her powers, or most of her powers, get rid of that dimensional shit.
Yeah.
And she could pass her powers to another character who then becomes Ghost Spider.
Now, see, Polly, you say the whole cosmic sort of Gwen Stacy's are fated to always die and die young. That could be interesting on literally any other character. Not Gwen Stacy.
Why not? I realize that you're very emotionally attached to this notion, kill Gwen, kill Gwen,
dying.
kill Gwen. But
Yes.
what happens if you had the mandate put to you and you can't say that?
I would say, go fuck yourself, I quit.
Oh, fuck off. No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Oh, whatever. All right, fine. Let's...
See, that's the thing, Polly, is that like I was actually given this question once before, legitimately at college. They said when I was, working in animation, they said, you're going to need to learn Mac because the employers are going to have Macs. So what are you going to do if you're all of your experiences in PC and they have Macs? Well, I told the professor I would walk into the interview. I would say, "Do you use Mac or PC here?" If they say, we use Mac, I'll say, thank you for your time, and I'll walk out.
All right.
Well,
I'm not light in my convictions, Polly.
That's an odd thing to have a conviction over. I mean, people talk about that all the time, is that writers that are actually good at their craft getting cornered into something end up having to like really engage their creative mind to write themselves out of the problem. And I find that an interesting idea. Like I don't think the character of Kamala Khan is interesting at all in and of herself. But Jack and I were able to spin a story where she was actually halfway good. And I mean, is that so much to ask of the writers, that they write characters that are reasonably good, even though they're saddled with these stupid ideas where, okay, she can't be bad, she can't be this, she can't be that. I mean, look what the Star Trek writers had to do with under Gene Roddenberry. No interpersonal conflict between any of the members of the Starship crew. The Enterprise members don't fight amongst each other. That's humanity now. So how do you write conflict when you can't have the characters in conflict? Well, they figured out some creative ways of getting around and out of it.
Ryan Walters has an interesting idea. Make Ghost Spider the ghost of Gwen Stacy, the actual spirit that possesses the bodies of others and gives them spider powers while she's inhabiting them.
Huh. She's like she's like
person.
dead man. She's dead Gwen.
No, it should be more Captain Universe. But it could be interesting.
Yeah.
That's at least more creative than what they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, girls that are like 14 and 15 are all into fucking gothy shit and death and so on and so forth. Yeah, sure. I could see it actually
Especially
working
one-
and being successful.
Especially ones that read comic books.
Yeah, right. Right. They want imaginative stuff that's, dealing with the darker side of things, but not like grotesque dark. Why not do something like that? Or like I said, the idea that she's constantly fated. She believes she's fated to die like every other Gwen. She happens to be the longest lived one and she just turned 20. You know what I mean? It's like a fucking nightmare for her every day. When am I going to die? Maybe in the story she does and then turns into literal Ghost Spider. Holy shit, this sounds interesting. Like a comic I'd want to read instead of let's give Gwen everything while she plays Dancing Between the Universes, Yeah,
they need to lock her into one universe and just get on with character building instead of this other nonsense.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that, and they're not going to build a character because she has no character. All of her character was entirely built around the fact that she was a love interest for Spider-Man and then died.
Yeah, but
that was her character.
They could build a character for this one by making her interesting, but they're not going to do it because they're creatively bankrupt, not because they can't.
There's no way, in my opinion, that's not going to absolutely ruin the idea of the character that came before to write her interesting.
Well, I'm
The
just
fact, that
saying
she's, the fact that she's alive is a slap to the face of the guy who wrote that original Spider-Man story.
of course it is, but at the same time, this is what you're stuck with. And if they won't let you get rid of the character, you have to do something with her. And you can't keep just trying to get in Heather Antos's pants. There's not enough time for that in a whole day where you're trying to get stuff done.
What are you talking about, man? They're on Twitter 19 hours a day. There's clearly lots of time.
How bad must it be to that guy that created the Gwens to then have Heather Antos not work at Marvel anymore?
I'm sure he's bitterly rubbing one out every day using his tears. But
oh, she'll be back. We've talked about it. She's not gone.
She's got an open door for her anytime she wants to come back. But still, it's you ruined everything in the world with these two characters. For what?
they don't care. They created all these garbage characters thinking they're going to draw in a female audience in a boy's hobby. And women are not that interested in superheroes most of the time. There are a few, but they're very few and far between comparatively.
Guys, I'll be back in a second. Quiz, you're in charge.
Okay. I'm in charge. Go Spider, no more. Fuck it, get rid of her.
You can't.
Joe Quesada fired.
Dare to dream. Tom Brevoort fired. Jordan D. White fired.
Tommy Easy Coates fired and shot out of a cannon.
In Minecraft.
The New York Bay.
New York, into the East River.
Fuck it, man. If only. When I was made captain of the town. Oh my god. No, seriously, man. That like my loathing for the entire idea that Gwen Stacy is back and they're doing all of these things with her is such it's such an anathema to me in terms of like trying to tell a cohesive story that literally anything she touches is ruined. So I won't see Into the Spider-Verse because of that. I won't, I mean, I don't think that I'm going too far with this either. Am I? I'm open to interpretations, but to me, that the whole idea is beyond the pale to even consider.
Well, it's a lot like resurrecting Peter's dead parents. It damages the impact of the death in the moment, that it influenced in Peter's life. It tarnishes a different character by doing this. My problem is that they keep pushing failed ideas. That's more offensive to me than the character itself. Like the character existing in another universe, whatever, I don't really care. But it isn't working and hasn't worked. Yeah. So it's time to move on. But they can't let go of it. They can't let go of bad ideas. They just keep re-releasing them, thinking they're good ideas, and it's hurting everything else. It's taking up spots for better books. And so when they...
Do you think that the whole, like everything about Spider-Gwen is Marvel trying to cash in on Power Girl? Trying to make their own Power Girl?
No, I think it's less subtle than that. I think they're just like, we need a girl Spider-Man.
That's what I think. It's just what's a popular
Spider-Woman already exists.
No, doesn't matter.
Not a young teenage Spider-Man, like mid Jessica Drew, who's like,
her power
30.
set's too different. Yeah, she's older. She has a different power set, totally different costume. Spider-Gwen is a younger character that could be more closely associated with Peter Parker.
I think I think it really is just as cynical as it looks. What's going on with Miles Morales is just as cynical as it looks. We want to do diversity and representation, so we're just going to take Spider-Man and make him black, Puerto Rican black, and we're just going to gender flip Spider-Man. It's identical powers across the board.
It just did it the laziest way possible because that's what somebody on high thinks of as creativity.
Yeah. I'd like to think that it's not that obvious, but I don't know. It really seems like it is just that
Yeah,
fucking obvious.
it's lazy writing and creatively bankrupt, but I seriously think that's all it is. And these books that they're forcing out are just taking up space for the rare occasion when they do have a really good book. It gets lost in the shuffle because of this trash, and it hurts their reputation in the long run. And they don't seem to care or realize it. That's why if Marvel Comics gets shut down, I'm not going to be surprised. If they keep staggering along, putting out this trash, I'm not really surprised because that's how corporatists think.
I'm like the question that I brought up. It keeps on like making circles in my head, but I'm trying to think of the differences because I mean, Power Girl at least is interesting because the difference being right is that Power Girl is Kara Zor-El. She's Supergirl, okay,
Yeah.
but she's from Earth 2 instead of the primary Earth, so she's a multiverse copy. But here's the thing, right? Supergirl didn't die.
Well, that's why I think the comparison falls apart because Power Girl is too interesting of a character. The analogies don't quite mesh up because she actually had to struggle with her place in the world and how her universe is gone. Gwen,
Her
Spider,
universe is gone, and she still exists in this universe as someone else. Yeah,
yeah, and because there is another version of her here, she has to find her own identity. That's never addressed with Spider-Gwen because she doesn't have to struggle. She's a Mary Sue. That's why I don't think they're comparable. It's just a lazy clone of Peter Parker as a girl, and they thought, well, let's make her look like Heather Antos, and we'll give her the same powers as Spider-Man, and we'll just resurrect this character that's been dead for a while. Nobody will care because we don't care. Plus, I don't think they knew Power Girl's backstory because a lot of these people aren't comic fans. They're like young adult authors and randos that just wander in off the street like hobos and they're given a job.
So here's tell you what, Polly, I'll entertain you here for a little bit. Has this scene ever happened in literally any Spider-Gwen comic ever? Current Spider-Gwen goes and visits Gwen Stacy's grave.
Yes.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Did it?
It has?
Yeah.
Because that in and of itself, I think, could be a powerful image where she can introspect saying, holy shit, I'm dead.
Yeah, if they really wanted to follow through this the whole way, Craven the Hunter would attack her and bury her alive with the dead body of Gwen Stacy.
Holy shit,
that would be escape.
That actually would be kind of cool.
I just made that character 10 times more interesting than anything they've done. Because talk about fucking trauma. You're literally laying next to your dead body.
Yeah, to your own dead body, yes.
Yeah. So, but
Marvel, hire us!
They won't take chances like that. They won't put that kind of like drama in because she's a Mary Sue. She can't be in danger. She can't have real risk. And since she's from a different universe, there's no one to like look for her in that scenario. Nobody would know she's missing. So she would literally be on her own. And that would be a compelling story. But they can't bring themselves to challenge a character like this. It's sickening tokenism.
You know, that's a really good point. I think that's one thing that I don't think that either we on Comic Book Curation or literally anyone else that talks about comics have really touched on. And I think it was sort of haphazardly stumbled upon there, Jack, is the fact that Marvel doesn't challenge characters anymore.
No, they don't take risks at all. A lot of the characters aren't put in real peril ever.
Yeah, not even just risks. I mean, just the fact that the characters are never in any real danger.
Yeah. We talked about that with Miss Marvel a few times because of the way she Mary Sue's everything. And I think we've danced around it. But yeah, a lot of the characters don't seem to have any real peril anymore. There's no stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, frosted glass.
God damn it, Frosted.
Barry Sue, yeah.
Ryan Walters asks, has the Jackal ever approached Spider-Gwen and tried to kidnap her? Funny you ask. Yes, that's what happens on the last page of this issue, but I won't spoil it in case you want to read it. Yeah, the Jackal actually realizes who she is and approaches her even with her little secret identity on 616. Because he isn't from 616. He snuck over to that other universe, which means he must have the ability to travel dimensions as well.
Yeah, and Assassin the Grey points out where I was leading with that, which is that if Peter Parker found out that another Gwen Stacy was going to die, he would rip the world apart looking for her.
Mm-hmm.
But if he couldn't find her in time, she's on her own. So, and that's if Craven's taunting him, and like there could be a lot of subplots. I think that could be a really cool story.
Yeah.
Well, it does. I mean, okay, hold on.
They call it the Craven Hunts Again.
Yeah, or the Ghost of Spiders Yet to Come, or something like that.
Ghost of Spiders Past. That's straight up
Yeah.
Stan Lee level, cheese.
I mean, but this is
True.
This is obviously the direction they're trying to put Ghost Spider into, right? Who drew it? Who lettered it? Who colored it? Who did that? Ghost Spider's beautiful, lots of pastels, etc. I mean,
Yeah.
Their use of pastels lately is really freaking me out.
This fucking good God. It's so the color direction for a lot of Marvel comics these days is just so soft. Right? There's no like hard, deep, vibrant colors. It's all soft shades.
Bright colors are startling, and that could really hurt somebody and trigger them. And we need to have a safe space.
Right, Walter's Craven Hunts a Gwen. That's good. It's good. I like it.
Let's just call it Craven Gwen.
Craven Gwen. He's a thirsty Craven. Oh man.
Sneeze there, and it took forever to happen. Okay.
Back up into your brain.
I do have a small piece of reasonably good news, possibly, because it's only a rumor, but, whatever. Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy has been axed by Lucasfilm. What's funny about this is somebody had just asked me about this the other day. It's like, Jesus Christ, is Rian Johnson's film trilogy still on? And it's like, it's on, it's off, we're going to still make it. No, we're not, blah, blah, blah. So here's a rumor that it's been, finally decided that no, we're not going to give this guy his own fucking trilogy. A new rumor indicates that Rian Johnson's announced Star Wars trilogy has been axed by Lucasfilm. The rumor comes from a Twitter, iFixTrailers, who reports Rian Johnson will no longer direct any Star Wars films. A decision has been discussed for some time since February of 2018. Johnson hasn't been notified yet due to Lucasfilm restructuring.
You're fired, but you just don't know it yet, Ryan.
Can you imagine finding out through Twitter that you've been fired? Oh. I mean, Ramen Noodle says it's only a rumor. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it's one that makes us smile.
It's a rumor that makes me smile.
They add that the decision to axe Johnson's Star Wars trilogy was due to a combination of the Last Jedi aftershock, fans' backlash, and the strong connection with the Solo flop. They indicate this combination put too many doubts in Lucasfilm and Bob Iger from a creative and public relations standpoint. No.
What? Hold on, let me contain my surprise.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Ramen Noodles. They should just go ahead with his trilogy and get it done with. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, apparently you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
What? All right, whatever. My sources at Disney informed me that the planned trilogy was supposed to enter pre-production last year. But the Last Jedi aftershock fans' backlash and the strong connection with the Solo flop put too many doubts into the blah, blah, blah and the PR standpoint. Even though Rian Johnson himself has admitted his trilogy is happening. Yeah, he keeps saying that on his own. No, it's happening.
Happening.
Yeah. There's
That's
actually
how-
no script, no due casting process, and no story set up at this point. Neither Lucasfilm nor Disney will make any announcement before December, but insider information has confirmed this decision. Wow.
I mean, take insiders and rumors, with a grain of salt, but still, I sincerely hope that he's out on his ass. Fuck that guy.
I mean, you got like Lucasfilm here. Like, okay, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy indicated that the future of Star Wars seemed to be up in the air in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in April. She told them, quote, "We're not looking at what the next 3 films might be, or talking about this in terms of a trilogy. We're looking at what is the next decade of storytelling." Then she noted that Benioff and Weiss would be working with Johnson. As they finish Game of Thrones, they will be going to segue into Star Wars. They're working very closely with Rian. Now, notice what a dramatic about face this is for Kathleen Kennedy, who gave Rian Johnson a trilogy where he would be the writer-director of all 3 films and start writing the scripts and start pre-production. Now she's saying, what we are doing, we're not talking about this, we're thinking more about storytelling. This is a complete about face.
Yeah, I seem to remember when people were saying, holy shit, is Rian Johnson's trilogy still happening? Kathleen Kennedy was all like, oh yeah, it's happening. And regardless of what you guys think, it's still gonna fucking happen. We're gonna have him for another 3 movies, and hell, we may even have another 6 after. Who lad?
Yeah, well, they went into details about it. I remember them saying it's going to be like in the future from the Skywalker trilogy timeline. And it's not going to involve any of the old characters. It's going to be set in the Star Wars galaxy, but not at that time period, like a little bit more in the future. There was all sorts of details about it. And now Kathleen Kennedy's talking a few months back about, see, we're thinking about the future of storytelling. Like it was all part of the plan all along. And if Entertainment Weekly was worth their name of being like journalists and stuff, they would have said, well, only 8 months ago you said that blah, blah, blah. How does this fit in? But they probably made them contractually agree that like there's no way Kathleen Kennedy's going to sit down and talk with you unless you forward the questions you're going to be asking and ask no follow-up questions based upon what she says. All right. Ugh. Fucking entertainment news is so depressing and boring, guys. Am I the only one that finds it depressing and boring?
Entertainment news is vapid as fuck and it's absolutely worthless.
I don't know about boring because it's kind of a trash fire, and sometimes you like watching those, but otherwise it just makes me sad.
Hey, Ranting Monkey's here, and just, monkey for you. Here's proof that we're one step closer to that Back to the Future reboot we're all looking forward to. Matrix 4 officially is a go. One step closer to Back to the Future, monkey. It's going to happen.
Is it the Wachowski sisters?
One of them, Lana. Just one of them.
Frosted Glass. I have a trilogy, but she lives in Canada, so you don't know her.
Hold on. Jesus. I just over here look. This is Variety, like one of the centers of garbage shill bullshit fuckery. I just saw this side story. Rihanna's Diamond Ball will honor activist Sean King. What?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he's so woke, yo.
Whatever.
Better
Jesus
you don't
Christ.
think about it.
Exactly. Just so painful. It is officially a go. Keanu Reeves is signed on. Carrie-Anne Moss is there, and Lana Wachowski, one of the 2 Wachowski former brothers. Get ready to re-enter the Matrix. Lana Wachowski is set to write and direct a 4th film set in the world of the Matrix, with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss reprising their roles as Neo and Trinity. Warner Brother Pictures and Village Roadshow Pictures will produce and globally distribute the film. They've signed the deals, apparently. Like, they're contractually on board now. So it's a go-go, man. We could not be more excited about re-entering the Matrix with Lana, said Emmerich. Lana is a true visionary, a singular and original creative filmmaker. Yeah, did you see, what was it called? Pluto Rising, Jupiter Ascending?
Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a load of fucking crap from
Oh
them,
man,
too.
that was a big old waste of money.
Warner Brothers has been trying for the last couple of years to find a way to get back into the Matrix universe because they need to restart anything for a complete lack of anything creative to do. But a holdup over producing rights slowed the project down. Over the past couple of months, the studio saw an opportunity to ramp up development, with Reeves boasting a strong summer that included box office hits like John Wick 3 and Toy Story 4. And now we're going to do Matrix 4. Look, here are all the numbers. Can't do anything original. Jesus. Plot details are currently unknown. And as in how the role of Morpheus will be handled, originally played by Lawrence Fishburne, some sources say the role may be recast for a younger take. Yeah, who cares?
Where's Lawrence Fishburne in that? You know, all I gotta say, this may be a hot take to some, or unpopular opinion. The only good Matrix film was the Animatrix.
I didn't mind the first one. I liked it when it was called Dreamscape and
Dark
Terminator.
City? Yeah.
Dark City, yeah.
And Terminator.
Well, it was more of those two movies than Terminator, I think. But yeah, I like those two movies. So first Matrix was okay, but the sequels were trash. Talk about pseudo-intellectualism, dick stroking, man. That was awful garbage.
The first one was too.
Yeah,
I
but at
re-
least when they tried a little harder.
I know kung fu. No, you don't.
Yeah, many of the ideas Lily and I explored 20 years ago about our reality are even more relevant now in the era of Trump.
Does it say
Really?
that?
No, it doesn't say that.
Okay.
I just assume that's what they're thinking. I mean, they're Holly weirdos, right? Like it.
Only Trump's America can usher in the horrible dystopian robot future of the Matrix.
Assassin the Grey makes a great point. No one considers William Gibson's Neuromancer, which would make a fucking way better movie.
I don't know. Do you see what I mean? Chat and you guys, like, just the stories this week. Like, yeah, okay, they're all big news and everyone's talking about it, but to me, it's just like, I was more interested in reading Ghost Spider, sort of. Not really.
Yeah.
Oh, get over it. It's fine. Yeah. Read it, then complain. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
Then all of my vitriol will be aimed at you, Polly.
Right, because I'm the one who wrote it and all. Well, let's talk about something that wasn't completely awful. Well, we did get that. Oh, here's something else that everyone's talking about. Yeah, let's get the other boring story out of the fucking way. Disney's cooking its books. What a fucking surprise! Yay!
Yeah. See, there's something that I think is fairly interesting. Not a whole lot of people know. Do you know that when what's his name? The Eisner?
Will Eisner?
No, not Will Eisner. Who's the head of Disney?
The head of Disney's Bob Iger.
Bob Iger. Okay. Yeah. Bob Iger. When he became CEO, I think he's CEO, right? He immediately first thing that he did as soon as he became CEO is he rescinded an order from Walt Disney himself. Walt Disney, before he died, said that all special needs families would be able to get into both Disney World and Disneyland free of charge.
Mm-hmm.
Very first thing Bob Iger did is it's Michael Eisner. That's his name. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Yeah, W.R. Costin and Johnny Hellcat came it up with it. Michael Eisner, very first thing he did was he rescinded that. Nope, the retard's got to pay too.
Jesus. It was just,
So-
is that what the official memo said? That's pretty fucking hardcore.
I wouldn't at all be shocked because the dude's a fucking scum fuck. So yeah, I'm not at all shocked that Disney is crooked as fuck, and everything they do is worthless. So yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, somebody went to a former financial analyst at Disney, as alleged, going to the Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, is a whistleblower, and filled out multiple whistleblower filings that Sandra Kuba is her name, that Disney was cooking its books mainly.
Theme parks.
Yeah, through theme parks, claiming things were more profitable than they actually were. You know, they'd sell somebody a gift card for $500, and then that would count that as a $500 sale, and then at the same time would count the sales when that gift card was used at Disneyland. So like double dipping on every purchase.
Yeah, from what I understand, they were also counting like promo stuff. So if something was given away as a promo, like you get $50 off your room, they still counted that $50.
Yeah, as
Right.
a full sale. Yeah.
And
Yeah, and if they gave somebody like a free thing, they counted that as a sale.
And it amounted in the billions, that they were overestimating their value, which possibly explains why in the financial reports to the investors, to the shareholders rather, the parks were always in the black when everywhere else at Disney was in the red. Is there a connection there? I don't know, but this person has filed multiple filings at the SEC claiming this is going on, and has done multiple interviews with them. And some of the reading that I've done here on Deadline and in other places, they make the guess that the SEC gets all kinds of complaints from people that are just disgruntled workers and every other damn thing. If they didn't take it seriously, there's no way that they would have had this person in for interviews, and that would be continuing to investigate it. Not that they've opened an actual official investigation, because they haven't said that they have, like a year and a half later, that they're still consulting with this person, says that they're taking it seriously. I don't know what to make of that. Maybe yes, maybe no, who knows. But yeah, Disney's, everyone's taking this to be a pretty big fucking deal, especially since they just appropriated a massive company full of IPs that they want to use. So
yeah, and apparently they're raising their prices at the resorts and the Disneyland, Disney World, so that they could cover some of the losses from Star Wars.
You're gonna keep losing.
I don't know. Like, am I just an asshole for finding it hilarious that ultimately Kathleen Kennedy might be the one who's responsible for killing the mouse?
Well,
There's a level of irony there that none of us anticipated. That's for sure.
I mean, that's kind of, you got handed the greatest IP ever, and because of your self-assuredness that you could do no wrong, you ended up fucking it up royally. Like the easiest thing to not fuck up, like Star Wars, you know, and you do it the way that you did it, and look at the results. Jesus Christ, lady.
Just buckle in. Phase 4 of the MCU's coming, buddy.
oh yeah, I want my America Chavez movie.
We're getting closer and closer to it, Quiz.
I know. You know, Kamala Khan's gonna come first, though. She's a bigger name than Chavez.
For now, yeah. But I think they'll do like a team. Like they'll do West Coast Avengers, but it'll be all these garbage characters that nobody cares about.
Yeah. You know what would probably happen if Donald Trump gets his wall made? That will be the Kickstarter that gets us an America Chavez movie.
Probably.
You know it will be.
And well, Gabby Rivera's back in comics, so
Really, what's she writing?
it's a surprise.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the love letter to queer kids around the world.
Yeah. Did you get that article I sent you, Polly?
Yeah, I did. I don't. It's gotten lost. I mean, anyway, here's a short version of it. Gabby Rivera's back. She's writing some fucking comic that's about the.
No, hold on. I'll pull the article up
There.
if you don't mind. I mean, if it's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm taking that as a yes.
Well, as intended.
I'm stalling for time while I open my Twitters.
Amica Chavez.
Well, in the meantime, yeah, they're gonna reboot Die Hard.
Why? Didn't he already have 1,000,000,007 sequels that weren't very good?
Yeah, but this is gonna be a young female John McClane, Joanna McClane.
Is it really gonna be Joanna and not his daughter?
I'm just making shit up. I don't care.
Young female John McClane.
I'm just making shit up. I'm so cynical about the whole fucking thing. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's with male pattern baldness.
This article comes to us from the LA Times. Gabby Rivera's new comic book series is a love letter to queer kids everywhere. Writer Gabby Rivera and artist Royal A. Dunlap are teaming up for BB Free, a new original comic series set in a world where a disease called the Plague That Ate Greed has wiped out the extremely wealthy and natural disasters have disrupted everything else.
Holy shit, Gabby, can you not self-insert ever?
No.
Can you not?
No.
Oh, buckle in, buddy.
No, look at that art.
I know. What the audience can't see it. Just calm down. We're not there yet.
God.
Don't skip ahead in the article. Announced Monday. This is from Boom Studios, by the way, under their Boombox imprint. Announced Monday, the coming of age series will follow young BB Free, who lives with her father in the Florida Islands. A teen whose limited contact with the rest of the world is through her radio show. Okay, what does she talk about? She doesn't have any friends, apparently. BB eventually stumbles upon a secret that could tear apart her family and their tightly knit community. Learning there's a lot her father has not been telling her is just the nudge BB needs to venture to the world outside the swamp in search of the truth. And readers can expect BB also to figure out some truths about herself along the way. Probably that she's a lesbian. BB Free is the trippy, wild adventure road I always wanted to go on as a kid, with a post-climate change America twist, says Rivera in a statement. Chubby, nerdy, teen me daydreamed about heading out into the world with a super cool best friend and do whatever we wanted, usually on motorcycles with magical powers. And no parents.
Literally self-insert. Oh my god.
Oh, it's so bad.
Okay, with BB Free, I get to do all that and more with one of the best artists on the planet, Royal Dunlap. Comic fans best know Rivera from her time as the writer of America, Marvel's first solo series about the queer Latina superhero America Chavez, which launched in 2017. The queer Puerto Rican's author's 2016 debut novel, Juliet Takes a Breath, is being republished in September.
Of course it is.
BB Free is a bouncy love letter to queer kids everywhere, especially the chubby Puerto Rican ones, added Rivera.
It's a love letter to you, Rivera. You're writing about yourself.
That's all she writes about. That's it. That's all she ever can write about. The new series arrives as there's increasing scrutiny about the dearth of Latinx representation in media. Some have even pointed out how this lack of Latinx stories and storytelling is not only problematic, but dangerous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Well, it is the era of Trump. Everything's dangerous, right?
Yeah. They have a little picture insert with her little squad or whatever, and they're like the Brown Burger King Kids Club. I think Doug Ernst pointed that out, or your boy Zach. We have BB Chalita, who's in a wheelchair. We have Orion. Then we have Davina, Kay, and Prima, who are both Indian, because they had to mix it up. They had to get some other non-whites in there. BB will not be alone in her adventures. Blah, blah, I'm skipping a little bit. What I'm most excited about is introducing readers to the ragtag group known as the Swamp Nerds, a.k.a. the inadvertently trying to save the world young protagonists in this adventurous story, Dunlap said.
Well, she's a comic book professional now. They allowed her that. Thanks, Marvel.
Yeah. There's a bunch of sample art from the first issue, and it's just this fat girl in the swamp, and she rides an alligator made of rainbows. And as she passes the sign that says "Drain the Swamp,"
Swirly girly stuff. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's gonna be so much messaging in here. It's coming out in November, so I already added it to my order for November.
Oh,
Yeah,
just pirate it, man. Don't waste.
no, I think I kind of want a physical copy of this trash, Polly.
Yeah, I want to be able to fully savor this moment where it could have not only a rage-filled blood pressure excursion that may kill me. I want there to be evidence as to what did it when people find my body.
Oh yeah, no, like seriously, when people find my body after reading this comic, I want them to see the physical like issue draped across my lifeless corpse as my eyes that have burst out of my skull in the rage is just like, slowly pooling behind me.
I don't know what they're talking about, Mustafa. I know there are plenty of Latino-centric stories, but there's just not enough about gay Latinos or Latinx.
Fat Latinx.
Yeah, who
lesbians.
have weird emotional problems and can't deal with who they are and have to constantly write that over and over again. And I agree with Ryan Walters. This would make a good setup for a Florida Man comic.
Oh yeah. Well, I love it because she has like this rainbow bracelet. Seriously, man, I wish I could show you guys this. Like, she's got this rainbow bracelet like area thing that she's got on her arm, and that causes the rainbow power to rainbow bright on the alligator, and then she rides the alligator. It's so fucking stupid.
Miss Renopoli, I threw the link in the chat, so if you want to see the article, it's there.
Oh, it's so bad. Everyone, check it out. It's brilliant.
This book is going to tank.
I want to. Well, of course it's going to. I want to see what the wheelchair kid gets up to. That should be particularly.
She's got fucking tank treads on her wheelchair, man.
Oh.
I mean, she'll run people over like young Crip on a sugar high.
It's so bad. I mean, was that the LA Times article, Jack?
Los Angeles Times, yeah.
Yeah. That generally is what LA stands for, yes.
Well, yeah.
Or
I'm riding the high. This is getting me excited, Polly. Come on. Don't ruin this for me.
I told Polly to surprise you with this because I didn't want you to find out in our group chat, so I sent it to him or private message. So the unit
well, good, because my reaction here is absolutely genuine. I need this comic in my life.
It might
it's so awful.
That's been there since America Chavez left.
Okay.
I don't. Oh man, it's just so frustrating to see your Mags Visagios and your Gabby Rivera's and your Zoe Quinns putting out comics that they're not making any money off of because they don't. Just to be able to call themselves comic creators, to be able to go on speaking tours.
Yeah, to have that kind of resume.
Yeah.
To have the pedigree that they can sit there and say, "Well, I'm a comics writer."
Right, and it's like, and there is an inexhaustible, it seems, amount of like-minded journalists that can't wait to write them up. Do you have any idea how far your average like unoppressed comic book writer would be willing to go to get a write-up, like a hagiographical write-up that's a complete puff piece in the Los Angeles Times? They have a huge circulation. That's a fucking gift. And there's like the first gay trans character that ever blah blah, and Gabby Rivera and all of her brilliance. Like it's an insane puff piece. Just promoting her. Oh.
That's why I need to find an artist, and I'm gonna write a comic book, have it published through the partner program at Alterna Comics on newsprint, get like 1,000 of them. Then I can say I'm a comic writer, and they can all fuck themselves, and they can never criticize me because I'm a comic writer too.
Yeah, but you don't have the oppression status.
Well, you'll immediately get drummed out as an alt-right Nazi Adonis. So
You're right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm quite attractive, so I could see why they would want to bring me down like that.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where their status is that equivalent. They were just handed something, they didn't really work for it, and they call themselves professionals. So it's really sad because being that level of token must be kind of hurtful and infuriating. But I guess they have so many other emotional problems.
Oh, it's not infuriating. They're fucking banking on it. Like Mags is just, she doesn't, I mean, she just made a fucking deal for a comic that sold, what was it, 800 copies? And sold it to Netflix as an intellectual property that she wholly owns. That nobody bought the comic. Nobody cares about the comic, but now next Netflix is making into a series and she's clocking bank off of it. In between speeches that she makes as an oppressed trans person comic creator. And the only reason, when she was still Brian Visaggio, same writer, exact same writer, was not getting jobs. There was like any other struggling comic book writer. And then I'm going to transition to being female. Cannot keep up with the work, actually has to turn work down. Grisella just said, and some of us have worked years on our craft. Imagine that for a second, Grisella, that you actually have to turn down contracts for your art because you can't keep up with it.
Yeah, keep up with the demand. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that many people calling you and emailing you and beating down your door. And you're like, no, I got a speaking engagement in New York. I got another one in New Jersey like the next day. And then I'm off to the West Coast because I have to do meetings with the Netflix people for my series they're developing.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
Just got to hit all the woke points, I
Yeah.
guess.
And what is the difference between when she was Brian Visaggio to being now she is Mags Visaggio? Oh, wait a minute. There's the difference. That's not a reason to be bent out of shape. And it's like, I'm not a comics book writer, so I don't really need to feel bad about it. It's just they're filling up the space and filling up the talk on CBR and all the other comic book discussion sites and everything else for actual writers doing actual things. And so it doesn't really matter what she's doing. She's trans, so whatever she's doing has to be good, right?
That's the theory, apparently.
So who's looking forward to reboot of John McClane?
Speaking of Alterna there, Jack, did you see the shade that Peter Simeti was throwing at Marvel the other day?
No, but I bet it was great.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. It's Marvel put out their next new hero team, right? They have the Avengers starting in 1963. And then there's the Defenders 1971, Thunderbolts in 1997. Now it's Doc Justice and the J Team.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Doc Justice and the J Team.
Peter Simeti said, "Whoa, brilliant and amazing. I'm looking forward to more like this. Maybe Mr. Tough and the Do-Gooder team of precocious justice kids, or maybe keep it topical and go with Professor Virtue and the team of performative allies."
Damn.
I love Peter Simeti.
Yeah, I love how Marvel actually like unveiled them on Twitter. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, welcome to the new generation of heroes, and it's like, really? Let's take a look at what they look like here real quick. There it is. I had this open as a tab. I guess I actually didn't save it to that folder. Here, let's take a look. Doc Justice and the J Team.
Wait 10 seconds, people.
Yeah, let's wait for... Well, come on. Load that. There we go. There they are. Nothing generic about this group of people.
Which one's Doc Justice?
The guy in the center.
You don't know that.
No, it's true. See the J on his shirt?
Oh, okay.
And, please tell me KJ's over there because he's Kid Justice. Please tell me that's Kid Justice.
Since that guy's got an orange outfit, I think he should be called OJ. And he just kills everyone by trying to cut their heads off.
No, he kills just wives. That's all he kills.
Yeah. Well, I'm loving too. You said KJ. Why this art is terrible, by the way. That one on the right there that you think is Kid Justice. Why does he have a red old dong hanging down between his legs? I know that's supposed to be his foot, but god damn, if you're not trying to one up Rob Liefeld on not being able to draw feet.
Monkey's right. This looks like some shit off a kid's menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely. It looks like
Generic
somebody
hero, the
drew
generic
up. The,
heroes.
the only person that I like, okay, dude in the back with the horns looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks a little too Doomsday.
Well, those two, both him and Ragman there look all right.
Yeah,
but...
I like this design. I mean, it's really simplistic. I mean, it's not a man. It's obviously a woman with the high heels, or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's trans man.
Is it coincidence, Jack, that both you and I just name dropped 2 DC characters that Marvel is obviously ripping off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know. This just looks super lazy. I mean, the characters don't look particularly interesting or new. They look like other characters, and they do look like a free giveaway from Radio Shack.
Yeah.
I expect there to be a coupon in the back of this for 10% off my next purchase at some restaurant somewhere.
At Applebee's.
So this team was originally called the Runaways, but they're being like recast as Doc Justice and the J Team. We started mapping out the latest arc of Runaways issues 25 to 30, and we thought about one of the things that this series does best is a take on a classic superhero comic idea and subvert it. Do a Runaways spin on it.
Oh, deconstructionism. Yay.
Yeah, no one's ever heard of that idea before.
I love it too because it's a complete reimagining from a comic from 2003. 2003.
Oh no, they relaunched Runaways more recently in the last couple of years.
Well, I'm saying that's their first appearance was in 2003.
Oh well, it wasn't a good idea then either.
Oh my god.
These are the most generic looking superheroes ever.
That is the problem, is the genericism, except for the 2 in the back that just kind of look like an amalgam. Well, 3 in the back, that look like an amalgam of other things. This looks like Athena. Remember when Athena had her own comic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like classic Greek goddess with a couple of shitty plastic wings tied to her back. I mean, I hope those wings aren't actually supposed to be functional. Those wouldn't provide enough lift to get her off the ground. I don't care if her bones are hollow.
No, she probably found some little kid's toy wings, put them on, and got superpowers from them.
I don't care if that kid's name is Kid Justice or not. That's what I'm calling him. Oh fuck!
I'm trying to see here. Here we go. Okay, members. This is of the Runaways, so take this for what you will for all of that. You've got Amadeus Cho of the War Zone. Supposedly the brains of the group, he can rig into computers and doombots. He slightly admires Delphine Gorgon. Cloak and Dagger, which I noticed are, conveniently absent from that piece of shit art.
Mm-hmm.
Delphine Gorgon of Arcadia. Frostbite. Jubilee of Limbo. What? Oh, little fucking fuck you, Wikipedia. There's a little blurb there. It's not confirmed whether she's a vampire or not. Go fuck yourself. Molly Hayes of the Kingdom of Manhattan. As if, Marvel wasn't already New York centric enough. Pixie of Mutopia. And Scar of Greenland. The Hulk.
Any of these people.
The Hulk of Cho's bodyguard. I don't know. I was just gonna say Doc Justice, and I sincerely hope that is Kid Justice. I'm 100% behind Polly on this.
I kind of hope his name is something else, like Cosmic Jimmy or something.
Cosmic Jimmy.
Cosmic spelled with a K.
Yeah. But everybody calls him Kid Justice because his initials are KJ on there, and he gets so mad every time. That's what I'm hoping.
Cosmic Jimmy.
It's like, my name's Jimmy, and I'm from outer space. I'm cosmic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for those of you who don't remember the Athena comic, there it is. Obviously from Dynamite. The idea is she's literally Athena. Ooh, nudity. Ooh, naked butt.
Ramen noodles. Doc Justice looks like Cobra Supreme.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll get you next time, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, the whole idea is she's literally Athena come back to Earth, and she wakes up and she's a goddess and she has to make her way on the world, and that's it.
Kimono Justice, he beats up women who appropriate Japanese culture. That was an appropriate place sword.
Yeah. Well, that's what he said. He said nudity.
Boobies.
You just gotta go quick.
Yeah, that's a large part of this comic. It was from 03, and it's like, it's a Dynamite comic, and you're trying to grab attention, and it's Athena, who's supposed to be like literally a Greek or Roman goddess, whatever the fuck. So yeah, you better make her classically beautiful. So as much nudity and skimpiness as possible. All right, and that rounds up our stories, which means it's time for pitches. Who would like to go first?
I can if you want.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Drag this over here. Close that.
I was trying to find the hangout, and it was all like, oh yeah, it's behind the greatest thing ever, aka fucking Gabby Rivera's new comic.
Denied that that's the greatest thing ever, but very well.
Her riding a rainbow alligator, it was just...
Oh yeah, it's priceless.
Like, I'm buying this. That's not a horse of a different color. It's a gator of a different color.
Yeah, so right? Right? Yeah.
This is my totally original idea.
Okay, so my pitch is written by Paul Dini, art by Eduardo Rizzo, and my comic is Dark Knight, a true Batman story. So for those that don't know the story, Paul Dini was a writer for the Batman animated TV show, right? And he tells this story because he actually went through an extremely traumatic experience coming back from a rather disappointing date in LA, where on his way back to his apartment or house, I can't remember exactly which, he was actually jumped by several people in the middle of the road and beaten to a bloody pulp, man. Dude had you can see right here at the very beginning, this is his story. This is Paul Dini's story of how he moved on from this experience. You can see right here he had a ton of surgeries, reconstructive surgeries. They beat him badly, and it was his sort of way that he coped and got back into the world. There's a lot of stuff like here you've got him in the writer's room with Bruce Timm and all of the other writers for the Batman animated TV show. And it's actually a really interesting story because what he does throughout the course of this book is he will use Batman characters as a way to show his vulnerabilities and his his thought process. Like right here, his disappointing date is Poison Ivy using her allure and charm to try and get him to do things to further her career, and that was the only reason why she went on the date with him. And then later on, you've got the Joker is constantly trying to feed into his cycle of self-doubt and self-destruction. The way that he described it when he was coming out with this comic was the Joker is the sort of friend that enables you into a stream of consciousness that leads you down the path of self-destruction. And
I do not look like the Joker.
Huh?
I do not look like the Joker.
Well, you are my best worst enemy, Jack.
I'm here to help.
Yes.
But
But yeah, in after you can see right here the artist depiction of him, getting beaten by these two assailants, and the only time Batman ever appears in this comic is to tell him to stop feeling sorry for yourself, get off your ass and get back to work, give him the tough love that he obviously says that he needs. And it's a kind of a heartbreaking tale. And the worst part about it is that it's 100% true. This, it's obviously used in fiction and allegory, but the events of that night, he filed a police report. The assailants still have never been caught, and yeah, it's just him, living his life from that point on. I have this in hardback. I was massively looking forward to this story, and it's really really good. It's a comic, but also a real life story. So yeah, if you respect the Batman animated series, which everyone should, and like Paul Dini, I think you'd get a kick out of this book. It's actually a really kind of a heart wrenching, but still good story.
well, this sounds good, but I'm a little disappointed that he in real life he didn't dress up like Batman and go around beating up the bad
Yeah,
guys
right.
that bugged him.
Yeah, so he said that the irony was not lost on him when the fact that he got beaten in an alley and he writes for Batman.
Yeah.
So
So little kid was just standing there watching, all shocked and appalled.
yeah,
He's
right.
trying for life. Now he dresses in tights and beats people up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, that looks pretty good.
Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Oh.
Since I'm the only other person you could be talking to.
Well, okay. Would you? All right, that's whatever.
All right, give me 1 second to make the damn thing work.
Oh, so you're not even fucking ready. This guy's smart ass.
All right. I'm recommending Lola XOXO issue 1 from Aspen Comics.
No porn here.
This is not porn.
Oh, okay.
She's not riding the horse in that way. See, she's on the saddle.
Well, I saw all the X's and I was saying Lola. It's I don't know. It sounded.
See, I've wondered about it too, but a guy at the comic store, like one of the other customers, was like, "This is pretty good. You should check this out." And I was like, "Whatever. I'll buy it. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me, weirdo." He smelled funny. So this is volume 3, issue 1, and it's a post-apocalyptic book, which I generally like. And it's about this girl Lola, who's looking for her father, and she's going out and about, and she's hooked up with this tribe of other survivors, and everything went south real fast. There was like Antifa kind of let things off with domestic squabbles and all this. Eventually there was a civil war and nukes fell, so they're the descendants of the survivors of that catastrophe, and they run into another tribe, and it looks like things aren't going to go well for them. But there's also some other things afoot with these guys called Suits, and they are basically vault dwellers. And these Suits guys are the guardians of the vaults, and they're abducting tribals for some reason. And we don't know why yet. But they're doing this like experimentation on them. And apparently there's some kind of disease that they may be immune to that the vault dwellers aren't. But I thought it was kind of cool because there's this business class. They don't exactly explain it, but it's sort of like they think this is like a symbol of power kind of thing with the suits. They give a real brief overview, but they got these cool techno helmets. It reminded me a little bit of Fallout, but in a fun comic twist. So we got all these guys that are trying to just get by, and they're trying to meet up with this other. They end up meeting up with this other tribe, but there's also all this other stuff going on with these Suits guys. They're abducting the tribals and doing experiments. So it looks like there's going to be a confrontation. I
love the art.
Yeah, the art's really cool. What I don't like about it, and I do complain about, is when there's not a lot of background detailing. It looks like somebody just took a magic marker and went whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. But otherwise, it's got kind of an interesting look to the art, and I don't mind the art. It's just when the background sometimes they take like the pink magic marker and just fill in space. Like here, it's a little bit noticeable.
Right.
I do have to say though, I kind of dig the fact that you can see the page grain beneath it. That's
Yeah,
gives it
yeah,
texture.
but like right here, you can tell it's just a magic marker. Like,
yeah.
I kind of hated that, but it's just a lack of detailing. You know, like put something there, put a fucking tree there. I don't care. Well, put some wall paneling.
You know, some people are only just really good character artists and not very good background artists. So
Yeah, but like here, there's background.
yeah,
I love the rough, barely finished style of it. I don't know quite how to describe it. It looks great.
it's very sketchy. Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was the use of pinks so much, and that when there's no background, it looks a little like haphazard with the background fill. That's my only complaint. Otherwise, I like it. I thought it was fun, and it's a pretty interesting read. I never really read Aspen comics before recently, and I picked up Fathom and reviewed that, and I thought it was pretty good. It was, you know, better than Kelly Sue DeConnick on Aquaman. So I'm not joking. It was.
It's better than a bag of poop on fire. Like,
yeah. Well, I thought it would be garbage because it was kind of an artsy company when Michael Turner ran it.
Right.
But there was actually a pretty good story there, and it's about a girl that can live underwater. So, Aquaman analogy.
No, I mean, I get the idea of like, you know, the character Aspen in Fathom, but you know, anyway.
Yeah. So I picked up this one because the guy was like bothering me about it, and he saw me picking up Fathom issue 3, so I bought it. Just kind of just shut that dude up, and so he stopped being smelly next to me, and I turned out to like it. So I'm recommending it if you get a chance to pick it up. It was fun. Was it worth $4? I don't know about that, but it was a fun post-apocalypse adventure, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting. There's a pretty cool twist at the end too. So Lola XOXO, not porn.
Nice.
That's my pitch.
Not porn.
I picked it up so that the smelly guy would leave me alone. Thanks, smelly guy.
All right, so my pitch is not even a comic. I don't think you could technically call it a comic. And no one's gonna like this, and I don't even care. I don't, because I'm not sure if I like it. But it's it's so oddball. I had to pitch it. I've never seen anything done like this, and it looks so okay. Here we go. My pitch is Star Trek New Visions, the photo novel. It's look at it. It's fucking cutouts from the original series with word bubbles on it. So, for those of you who remember the original series story, Mirror Mirror, where they go to the evil universe with all their evil counterparts and stuff, this is the continuation of that story. And they just take freeze frames from various series episodes and then put word bubbles on them to create an original story. And it's like, I love this. Like, they even put the comic book ting, 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 so you know that it's making noises.
Huh.
It's like, when I first saw it, I thought, this is the worst thing ever. Like, this is so bad, this notion of a photo novel. And I thought, fuck it. I read Ghost Spider. I can take this. Like, let's just see. And I don't know. I kind of started reading it, and I'm like, I don't know. I think this actually works. I started reading through it, and it's an original Star Trek story. I mean, it's not a comic, not really, but it's done in the form of a comic with panels and word bubbles and the story progression and the pacing and stuff. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm like, oh, so this is this person's imagining of what happens after the Mirror Mirror episode. And it just looking at it right now, it looks so stupid. But I'm not going to pretend that I didn't really enjoy it. I actually got a kick out of it.
Well, didn't they do stuff like this in the 70s?
Oh, I could. Yeah. I can absolutely see it.
These sort of things have been done every now and then over the years.
And I had never heard of a photo novel before. This is a brand new thing to me, though it seems old as fuck to do something like this, because you don't really need to pay artists. You just have to go through the trouble of finding people that are standing in the poses that you need from the various 78 episodes of the original series. And there you go. And yeah, okay, corny, and it's got the weird look to it, but after about 4 or 5 pages, it fell away, the look of it, and I was just following the story after that. And
Well, they look like the characters then. Can't complain about the art.
yeah,
Right.
it's the likenesses are there. Fuck it, I'm pitching it because I had a good time. If you're a fan of the original series Star Trek, and the story is really good, they wrote out a really great story, and it totally works. So yeah, fuck it. This is a Star Trek. The Mirror cracked from the Star Trek New Visions series. IDW. There it is.
That photo of James Kirk doesn't quite look Kirk enough.
Right. And what kills me is just how bad it like, hi. Well, you guys can't see it, but chat understands what I'm laughing about. It's just Kirk sitting there smiling. Photo montage and story by John Byrne. Well done, John Byrne.
Mike told me earlier that they're doing an IDW sale on Comixology. I think today's the last day for it, and he said this is in that sale, so you might want to check into that.
Nice. Yeah, I was stupid and bought the hard copy and then went and downloaded it. I actually found it.
John Byrne did this.
Yeah. I don't know if that's John Byrne, like legendary John Byrne.
Yeah, that's John Byrne.
Are you sure it's the same guy?
There's only one John Byrne.
Well, I mean, in our hearts, there's only one John Byrne, who's a legendary comics figure. For those of you who don't,
anybody else is a fraud and a liar, and they're probably named Gabby Rivera.
I of course realize this is like John Byrne, and I'm thinking, is this the legendary guy or just some other guy who happens to share his name? Anyway, this makes me want to like do one of these myself. You know what it reminds me of? When guys like have an idea for a Star Trek series, and so they just use the sprites from like Star Trek Online or some other video game to animate their story, and they put it up on YouTube.
It's called a machinima.
A machinima. They're some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. It just depends on how well you wrote the story, and you just kind of need stand-ins. It's very much what it reminds me of. And fuck it, write a good story. It's and you'll have my attention. God damn it, I'll even buy the thing. So. There it is. That's my pitch.
That's interesting. I'll check that out.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Our week. Ryan Walters says, because I break all the rules. That's right. I'm an iconoclast that marches to the beat of a different drum. If you have any story ideas, by all means, tweet them at Jack Quiz or myself. We're always interested in things that you might want us to cover. And if you're listening in the future, please leave any comments or any questions that you might have. We get a chance to read them all and respond to most. Also, on your way out, if you haven't already, please like the video. It absolutely does help, and we definitely appreciate it. Or if you're really inclined, share it on Twitter or hit one of these guys up in their Streamlabs. My plan, though I haven't made certain that I'm going to be able to pull it off, is have my Streamlabs set up for my birthday, which is coming up shortly. So we'll see.
Oh, happy birthday.
Well, I'm not.
I'll forget by then and you know it.
What's that?
I'll forget by then and you know it.
Well, yeah, it's the 14th of December, so it's kind of coming up.
Coming up only in 4 months.
If it wasn't tomorrow,
September is not 4 months away, Quiz.
Oh, I thought you said December.
I said September 14th.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said December as well.
No. But anyway, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Check out some indie books. There's surprisingly a large amount of good stuff out there. We crap on bad comics a lot. It's usually from the big two, but there's some really good indie stuff out there. So pick up some indie books and give them a chance.
There you go. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Night.